This tunnel had only advanced a few meters into the ground, when suddenly a whole underground river appeared in front of it. Machines weighing thousands of tons came to a halt. Engineers re-examined the maps. And the workers realized for the first time that they had perhaps struck something that no one had anticipated. The question is, what happens when a tunnel strikes straight into an underground river? Does the water wash away the entire project? Does the tunnel close forever? Or does man somehow defeat even the river flowing inside the earth? But the real story is even more astonishing. Standing on top of the earth, we feel everything is stationary and solid. Roads, buildings, mountains. It seems as if the earth is a solid rock. But in reality, a completely different world exists beneath the earth. A world where water has been traveling silently for hundreds, if not thousands, of years. Rivers that never see the sunlight. Caves inside which entire lake-like systems exist. And sometimes, when man sets out to dig a tunnel, he comes face to face with this hidden world. But here lay a problem. Engineers conduct a detailed survey of the ground before building a tunnel. They examine the rocks. They check the soil structure. They use modern sensors. Even then, how can an underground river suddenly appear in front of them? It seems that in today's era of technology, such a mistake should not be possible. But the reality was something else. Think. You are 50 or 100 meters beneath the earth. There is darkness all around. Only the sound of machines is echoing. In front, a tunnel boring machine is slowly cutting the rock. Everything is running according to routine. Then suddenly, the ground in front of the machine begins to feel soft. The pressure changes. And after a few moments, a thin stream of water appears. At first, it seems minor. But then that stream begins to speed up. Faster. And even faster. Until it takes the shape of a powerful fountain. Now the problem is not just the water. The real danger is the pressure behind this water. Water inside the earth is sometimes under so much pressure that if it finds a way, it can break walls. It can drown machines. And it can make the entire tunnel unusable in a few minutes. But the strangest thing was yet to come to light. Underground rivers are not like ordinary rivers. Rivers flowing above are visible to us. We know their path. We can measure their speed. But water flowing inside the earth often travels like a labyrinth. Sometimes it passes through cracks in rocks. Sometimes it collects in vast caves. And sometimes it reappears at some other location kilometers away. This is why sometimes engineers do not even know what is present in their path. Imagine. You are making a tunnel. There are only stones in front of you. But behind these very stones, millions of liters of water are hidden. And you have no idea about it. This is exactly like an ocean being on the other side of a wall. And you are slowly weakening that wall. Many such projects happened in the world where this exact situation arose. In the beginning, everything was running normally. Then suddenly water entered. The work stopped. Expenses increased. And engineers had to change the entire strategy. But the question was, if the path of the tunnel has already been decided, then what should be done? Is the entire project cancelled? Or is the path of the river changed? The answer is not that simple. Imagine for a moment. You are standing inside the earth. Above, a population of millions in the city is living its life. They have no idea what is happening beneath their feet. Below, engineers are fighting a war that no one can see. Man on one side. Nature on the other side. And between both, just a few meters of rock. Every decision here is important. A wrong calculation can destroy the whole project. In fact, sometimes lives can also be put in danger. When a tunnel collides with an underground river, engineers first try to understand the water pressure. Because every river is not the same. Some contain only a limited amount of water. while some are part of an entire aquatic system. If water is coming continuously, it can be almost impossible to pump it out. And if the flow of water is too high, the soil around the tunnel also begins to wash away. This is called ground loss. In this case, not only the tunnel is in danger. The ground surface can also sink. Buildings can be affected. Cracks can appear in roads. Meaning, the problem starts inside the earth. But its effects can reach the entire population above. But the story does not end here. Sometimes engineers use an astonishing method. They do not try to stop the water. Instead, they freeze the ground. Yes. Freeze. Special pipes are inserted into the ground. An extremely cold solution circulates through them. Slowly, the surrounding soil and water turn into ice. Thus, a temporary frozen wall is formed. Now the tunnel can advance in a relatively safe manner. Think. Hundreds of meters beneath the earth, an artificial ice fortress is being built. Just so that a few more meters of excavation can be done. But sometimes even this is not enough. At some locations, water is present in such a large quantity that engineers have to change the entire path of the tunnel. Months of planning start over. Maps change. Expenses increase. Time is wasted. And the pressure of investors is separate, but still, sometimes this is the only way. Because there is a limit to fighting against nature. Imagine a multi-billion-dollar project. Thousands of workers. Hundreds of engineers. Years of hard work. And then something comes forward that was not present on any map. This does not remain just a technical issue. This becomes a test of human patience. Many engineers later confessed that in such moments, they felt as if the earth itself was trying to stop them. But the most interesting thing is that underground rivers are not always enemies. Sometimes these very discoveries prove to be treasures for scientists. During the excavation of the tunnel, new caves have been discovered. Unknown aquatic systems have come to light. Creatures have been found that were alive thousands of years away from sunlight. Sometimes an engineering project suddenly turns into a scientific expedition. And this is the moment when a tunnel does not remain just a tunnel. Rather, it becomes a door to reach the hidden secrets of the earth. But one last question remains. In the end, when the tunnel actually meets an underground river, what is the result? The reality is that no single answer exists. Sometimes man wins. Sometimes nature. Sometimes the river is controlled. Sometimes the path has to be changed. And sometimes the entire project has to be altered. But one thing always remains common. That moment when engineers realize that the earth is still not completely familiar. We sent satellites into the sky. Reached the bottom of the oceans. Built massive bridges and tunnels of the world. But beneath our feet, there are still places about which we know very little. Think. Maybe even at this moment, somewhere inside the earth, a river is flowing silently. No one knows about it. No map points it out. And it has been traveling on its path for centuries. Then one day, man begins to dig a tunnel there. Rocks break. Machines advance. And suddenly two worlds meet each other. One made by man. The other hidden by nature. And at that very moment, a new story is born. Because the reality is that when a tunnel meets an underground river, it is not just an engineering problem. It reminds us that beneath the earth, a world still exists that is hidden from our eyes. A world that is silent. But not empty. And perhaps this thing is the most astonishing. We traveled to the moon. But could not discover all the secrets present inside our own planet even today. The tunnel was finally complete. Years of hard work, countless obstacles, and a long struggle with nature beneath the earth, ultimately succeeded. But the astonishing thing is that the underground river did not go anywhere. It is still flowing today with the same silence. The only difference is that now man and nature have learned to live with each other. Engineers did not eliminate the river. They only made a safe path for themselves while respecting it. And perhaps this is the biggest success of modern engineering. Sometimes man does not defeat nature. Instead, he learns to walk with it. But across the tunnel, a world still exists where perhaps no human has set foot to this day. Such caves. Such rivers. And such secrets. Which have been present silently in the dark for thousands if not millions of years. Every new tunnel does not just make a path. It also opens the door to a new story hidden inside the earth. We cut through the mountains. Reached the bottom of the oceans. And registered our presence in space as well, but about the world present beneath our own feet, we still know very little today. And perhaps man's next biggest discovery is not on some other planet. Rather, it is waiting for us inside this very earth. Because sometimes the biggest secrets are not in the skies. Rather, they are hidden beneath our feet.